What is assessment? The phrase assessment in education refers to the vast range of techniques or instruments that teachers employ to assess, gauge, and record pupils' academic preparedness, learning progress, skill development, or educational requirements. There are types of assessments. Number 1, observation checklist. A set of questions known as an observation checklist can help an observer assess the performance and behavior of a person's talents. An observer can find skill, gaps, and issues areas to further improve teaching methods, classroom environments, and student learning development by using a teacher and classroom observation checklist. Number 2, anecdotal report. Anecdotal records, often known as anecdotes, and are used by educators to document notable incidents they have seen. Anecdotal evidence describes happenings or events that are significant to the person who is watching them. An informal tool used by the teacher, the record student conduct as occasionally witnessed by him. Uses of anecdotal record. Record unusual events such as accidents. Record children's behavior, skills, and interests for planning purposes. Number 3, portfolio assessment. A portfolio assessment is a group of student projects linked to the standards you must master. This body of work is frequently compiled over a lengthy period to reflect both what you have learned and what you have been taught. Each item in the portfolio was chosen because it is a true reflection of what you have learned and serves to showcase your existing level of expertise. A portfolio is essentially a storybook that documents a student's growth as a learner over the course of the school year. There are pros of using a portfolio assessment. Number 1, a portfolio assessment demonstrates learning over the course of time rather than what students know a particular day. Number 2, a portfolio assessment provides an opportunity for a student to reflect on their learning, to self-assess, and to formulate a deeper understanding of the concepts they are learning beyond a simple surface explanation. And number 3, a portfolio assessment requires a great level of individual interaction between the student and the teacher, wherein they are always collaborating about their requirements and components going to the portfolio. And there are cons of using a portfolio assessment. Number 1, developing and assessing a portfolio is time-consuming. It takes a lot of effort from both the teacher and the student and is a demanding endeavor in which you can quickly fall behind. And number 2, portfolio assessments are very subjective in nature. Even if the teacher utilizes a rubric, the individualized nature of a portfolio makes it difficult to remain objective and stick to the rubric. Two students working on the same learning standard may have two totally different approaches. Thus, learning may not be the same.
Learning resources and instructional accommodation. Special education programs. The education of children who differ socially, mentally, or physically from the average to the point where they need adjustments to standard school procedures is known as special education, or sometimes known as special needs education. Children with intellectual, hearing, visual, speech, or learning problems, as well as brilliant children with exceptional academic talents and children with orthopedic or neurological impairments, are all served by special education. Implementations of programs. Children with one type of handicap may not all belong to the same group. Therefore, a diagnosis must go beyond just grouping the kids based on their major deviation. To assess a child's capacity for learning and achievement, psychoeducational diagnosticians are primarily responsible for evaluating children who have learning impairments. Patterns of instruction adaptation. Special education's objectives are similar to those of regular education. The methods used to achieve them, however, differ. For instance, an effort is made to teach reading to all children with special needs, except for those who cannot benefit at all from schooling. Patterns. Grouping patterns. The ultimate goal, beyond developing skills and imparting information, is to prepare these students for life in a larger society. So special classes are available in many school systems around the world for children who have above average intelligence, intellectual disabilities, visual or hearing impairments, or who have been diagnosed with other disabilities.
Inclusion programs. Inclusion. Being included is regarded as a fundamental human right. The goal of inclusion is to embrace all individuals regardless of their ethnicity, gender, condition, or other need. The goals, removal of barriers, are to provide equal access to opportunities and to eradicate intolerance and discrimination. The term inclusion in education describes a concept in which students with special needs spend the majority of their time with children without special needs. A learning environment that supports the entire personal, academic, and professional development of all learners, regardless of race, class, color, gender, handicap, sexual preferences, learning styles, and language, is referred to as an inclusive education program. Educational point of view. All students' needs are satisfied, helping to prepare them for life. Teachers develop their specialized knowledge. Society makes deliberate decisions to conduct itself in accordance with social ideas. Principle of inclusive education. There is no bias towards students. Equal access to education for all. The school makes accommodation for each student. All students will receive the same educational benefits. Students' differences are not an issue but rather a source of variety and diversity. Need and importance. To promote the growth of responsible citizenship, to promote social justice, self-reliance, developing a sense of self-esteem in order to achieve universalization.
Indigenization and contextualization of the curriculum. Contextualization is the educational process of connecting the curriculum to a specific environment, circumstance, or field of application in order to make the competence relevant, meaningful, and practical for all learners. The degree of contextualization may be described and distinguished into the following. A. Localization refers to the process of relating content specified in the curriculum to local information and materials in the learner community. Indigenization refers to the process of enhancing curriculum competencies, education resources, and teaching learning processes in relation to the biogeographical, historical, and sociocultural context of the learner's community.
What is Alternative Learning System or ALS? It is a parallel learning system in the Philippines that provides a practical option to the existing formal instruction. Who are the teachers in ALS? As defined in the new ALS Act, these are ALS teacher, community ALS implementers, and learning facilitator. Out of school youth. It refers to people in the population who are between the ages of 15 and 30 and who are not enrolled in school, not in a job that pays a living wage, or who have not completed college or a post-secondary course. The rate of out-of-school children and youth in the Philippines is growing. In fact, the Department of Education stated that this rate has reached 4 million in number this 2021 due to the pandemic. Apart from COVID-19, the most common reasons among youth for not attending school were the following: poverty, family issues, natural disasters, lack of interest, financial problem, work, illness, bad peer pressure, bad vices, child labor, child marriage, pregnancy, and violence. This upward trend of out of school is detrimental to this youth. Some of its effects are increase in child maltreatment, crime rate, pregnancy, and exposure to illegal drugs. Disadvantaged children. The term disadvantaged refers to students who are seen in interior tribal and rural areas of the country, where educational facilities have not reached in the way we find them, as well as students who come from sections of the community with different socioeconomic backgrounds and who cannot benefit from school due to deprivation of one sort or another. Disadvantaged are more likely to lack in ambition, depressed, anxiety, self-esteem, behavioral problems, poor school achievement, and difficulty relating to their peers.
Madrasa alay. What is madrasa? It is Arabic term for school. In English, the word normally specifically means an Islamic institution. The functions as privately owned school where a religious teacher instills his pupils with the basic tenets of Islam and the Arabic language. The main subjects of Muslim education is the Quran, the Holy Bible, Hadiths. The Hadiths is the collected traditions of the Prophet Muhammad based on his saying and actions. Fiqh, Arabic, understanding, a Muslim prudence, the science of ascertaining the precise terms of the Sahara or Islamic law. Madrasa in the Philippines. There are the three general descriptive types of madrasa in the Philippines. One is the traditional or weekend madrasa. Two, the developmental or formal madrasa. Three, standard private or integrated madrasa.
Special interest programs. A special interest school or special program has activities that are a key focus in the school and meet an identified need, are sustainable by the school over an extended period of time, provide students extra learning opportunities that are not usually available in schools. Special interest program in the Philippines. The growth of special education in the Philippines has been given a relatively good support all these years both by the government and non-government organizations and stakeholders in response to the needs and challenges of the times. The level of awareness of both the government and the private sector in providing equal opportunities to children with special needs have considerably increased. One positive development in special education is the implementation of Republic Act 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons.
Quality differentiated instructions. Differentiating instruction may entail having the teacher offer lessons at various degrees of difficulty depending on the aptitude of each student. Or it may entail presenting the same topic to all students using a range of instructional methodologies. Teachers who practice differentiation in the classroom may design lessons based on students' learning styles, group students by shared interest, topic or ability for assignments, assess students' learning using formative assessment, manage the classroom to create a safe and supportive environment, continually assess and adjust lesson content to meet students' needs. 4 ways to differentiate instruction: content, process, product, and learning environment.
Homeschool or distance learning. Homeschooling, also called home education, is an educational method situated in the home rather than in an institution designed for that purpose. Advantage: flexibility, freedom, personalized education, strong relationships minimum restrictions related to COVID-19. Disadvantage: too much work, not enough time for personal needs, excessive interaction, not able to go to work, missing some opportunities.